Yo, thanks for clicking the video. You rock. I don't care what they say about you. It's your boy Zach back with another one here. I have a weird video today. I'm sort of just gonna talk about the video game industry, the implications of Palworld, right? The psychology, if you will, of being a gamer, and sort of the implications that the Pokemon Company is facing. Right? The Pokemon Company is finally backed into a corner, and it's like, hey, this is what we expected from you for the last 10 years or so, and you've been giving us this, right? By the way, this is a video from Beta Brawler, an amazing video. So we are watching his content right now. I just want to let you know that. Please go give him some support. Check out his channel. He does amazing bugs and glitches videos. This is a 3-hour compilation, just to let you know. That's a big number because if you have about 3 hours worth of bugs and glitches that can be compiled into one video pretty easily, you probably have some flaws in the foundation of your game. Now, I would say that the last handful of Pokemon games have been sort of a joke. I don't want to just hate on Pokemon in this video, but I want to talk about conditioning the consumer, right? I want to talk about how over time video games, or at least from these bigger AAA companies, obviously it's been a common discussion recently, have been getting slightly worse. Or if there is a corner to cut off, right, they'll cut the corner. They'll shave off that little bit. If there's any expense that they can save on, they will. And Game Freak has been very complacent, obviously. I mean, look at this stuff. There's so much I will see as I continue talking here, but pretty incredibly bad. From the highest grossing media multimedia franchise in the world, by the way, more than Disney and more than Call of Duty. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff to sort of discuss. But Palworld is breaking Steam charts, so I guess we'll start with that, right? Palworld is sort of taking the whole world by storm because one, it's the first time really, other than I believe it was called Temtem, that we've seen like a full-fledged monster roster with like 150 monsters, or so, whatever it is, that sort of mimic or mirror the Pokemon sort of formula, right? That the Temtem game, people weren't really talking about it as much because it wasn't as successful, right? I think the reason that some people are so vocally frustrated about Power World's success is that it proves that for the last X number of years, 10 years, our standards have been lower than they should be, and we've basically been okay with receiving slop. And that's the idea, right? When these, oh, so we're going to be watching an advertisement. All right, I'll skip that. But yeah, guys, 3 hours of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet content. This is from Beta Brawler. Absolutely an amazing channel. So give him some love and support. I will link it down below. But guys, Palworld's interesting because it takes the best parts of all the recent games. Like, you see huge Breath of the Wild influence, right? And the sound effects, the hang gliders, some of the movement, even the combat, in a way. You see Elden Ring terrain and like terrestrial deliberation, if you will. Like, you'll see some circular platforms that look very similar to Elden Ring. You'll see a big tree in the background, very similar to Elden Ring. You'll see a big bridge that juts out in the same way that Elden Ring did. So there's like even just like some aesthetic and cosmetic things that I'm just like, wow, this is like so close. But the whole, I'm not going to get into the whole like, where do we draw the line for plagiarism, and is this stealing of intellectual property? I don't think it is at all, and I think it's dangerous to kind of think that way. I really do. I think that for the longest time now, the ball's been in the court of the Pokemon Company, and they just haven't done anything with it. Right? We don't have a computer Pokemon game. We don't have an actual officially endorsed battle simulator. We all have to go to Showdown, which is ran by the community. Right? Like, there are so many things the Pokemon Company could have done. Where's Pokemon Coliseum 3? Like, where's an actual open world Pokemon game? Arceus did not cut it, man. Like, it just didn't. Like, it's not what you expect from the highest grossing multimedia franchise in the world, right? This is the company that made Pokemon Go, that made like $100 million in like the first month that app did, and whatever. They release a game every year now, or it seems, and they're releasing like 2 copies of the same game each time, so they're doubling up on profit sometimes. It's been the most lazy complacent model for so long. So Palworld's like, hey, you know, we're taking some other mechanics from other games and we're blending them into the Pokemon formula, and our creatures are different enough, so yeah. There is the whole, like, some of them look similar and some of them are the same body shape, and if you... I have seen the 3D sort of wire mesh comparisons, the one that looked like Hatterena, I've seen, like, the Primarina as well, comparisons, but you know, in all honesty, when you're making 100, 200 mons or whatever, you know, some are going to look similar. And yes, I know that that doesn't excuse the ones that are like super duper close, but also like there's certain characteristics that people just like, you know, for animals that you're going to like, you're going to associate narrow, slender faces with more sneaky, agile creatures, right? You're going to associate plump, round bodies with some of the slower, uh, in the ones that are out in the fields in the starting area, blah, blah, blah. See, I don't even know what I'm saying. But, like, you will get similar results if you ask 100 people to come up with 100 different mons. They will come up with some very similar things, is what I'm trying to say. So, anyway, that's sort of a side tangent. But being a gamer, guys, and gaming for so many hours every day for so many years, the last 20 years or whatever, you do sort of isolate yourself. You isolate your personality. It doesn't actually progress at the same rate, right? If you were to be constantly going out into the world and engaging. I think there are certainly amazing avenues for gamers to continue progressing, especially the social aspect of, you know, connecting with your friends online, playing with your friends online. That does help you build confidence. I think just that face-to-face aspect is missing, blah, 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 blah. So, Videogame Industry, you know, as gamers, we have, what I'm trying to get to is we have high expectations and they're only becoming higher and higher and higher. And again, going back to the Pokemon Company, it seems that they almost, in a way, would be making their games bare bones on purpose so that the next installment can be that much more impressive, right? Especially that Pokemon is Nintendo's main game, right? Pokemon can dictate what Nintendo does in some regards, right? Because it's a huge percentile of their profits. So I just wanted to sort of touch on that. Like, there's obvious reasons that Palworld is being successful. You know, they bring guns into the equation, which is something we've been waiting for a long time. Obviously, the Pokemon Company would never do that exactly, but they could have brought in like the Breath of the Wild mechanics. Saw how successful Elden Ring was, right? Like in all of these Dark Souls games. You know, just tried to make it not look like crap. Like, look at these textures we're looking at, right? Like, you would expect this from a game 15 years ago, at least. At least. There are games 15 years ago that look twice, triple, 5 times as good as this. I understand this is running on a Switch, whatever, but I am pretty tired of that excuse. Especially when Breath of the Wild can run pretty good, and you can run some pretty high-end games. That of which are escaping me on the Switch, but you can run some pretty realistic graphic looking games with like ambient lighting and really nice stuff. So I can't really understand why does that tree look like poop? Why is the white snow here so bad? You can't even make out if it's a higher or lower level. The textures are just lightly brushed across. Like, why not just take that little bit of extra effort, just make it look good, you know, things like that. And I think Palworld, you know, they didn't really go like above and beyond or anything. But they did just put that little bit of extra effort that the Pokemon Company just never will put for some reason. So you know, I hope that people enjoy Palworld. I hope that people still are fans of Pokemon. But I think it's a great thing that Pokemon's back into a corner because competition breeds innovation, and innovation breeds competition. Man, it's a nice cycle, and that's what we need, man. So I just sort of wanted to touch on that. I haven't played Palworld, but I've been watching tons of streams, tons of things about it. It's been really cool to see. And I don't want anyone to think that I'm not a Pokemon fan, guys. I have a Pokemon card right behind me over there. Big old framed one, right? Used to go to Pokemon card tournaments when I was a little kid. I was the most vocal fan of this franchise and this company. Some of my earliest memories were when I broke my leg when I was 4 years old and I was on a trampoline. So I broke it. I come back from the hospital. My mom went and got some VHS tapes from the store in town, from the VHS rental store, right? in town when those were a thing, like a Blockbuster, right? And she got me the Charizard and Aerodactyl episode, right, where they first get Togepi. Um, Episode is just a banger. It's probably my favorite Pokemon episode of all time, probably just for that reason. But it's also just a banger because first of all, Charizard and Aerodactyl are two of the most badass Pokemon of all time. They straight up received, like, they get Togepi, that mysterious egg, right? Becomes Togepi, and also Jigglypuff. That was one of the most notable moments for me when Jigglypuff draws on their faces, right? All that stuff. There's so much personality, so much flair, so much love put into the beginning of Pokemon, and just over time, it's undeniable. It's been fading, and complacency has been kicking in. I mean, we've been watching these horrendous glitches for a while now, and I just don't understand why they're in there. Like, did people not test the game? Did you not have time for that? No, of course you didn't, because you give yourself a 1 year crunch time now, and you probably fired off way more devs than you actually should have. And yeah, it's bare bones. You guys are okay with giving the bare bones, which I find weird because I guess they're not worried about investors and all that. But I think if games like Palworld continue to pop up, eventually we can finally see the first hint of a dent on Pokemon, which would be great. Because guys, ever since Sun and Moon, it's been a joke. Sun and Moon are a joke. Arceus was a joke. It's not open. I mean, that's not a real open world game, man. You like run in a line for like 10 seconds, and then you see just like a Pokemon that's just plopped there, and you're like, engage, and they throw your Pokeball. Come on, man. Even Power does that. Like just the what do you call that? The moment to moment, like buttery smooth feel. Like it just does it better. Like even the PAL spheres, the way it pops up with the little icon and the percentage is way better than Pokemon. And just it's just weird, man. So I guess I'm talking in circles now. We didn't really know which direction this video would go, but I thought I'd just talk. It's pretty early in the morning, so I thought I'd just let my old brain noggin do the thing. But yeah, Palworld, let's go. Pokemon, let's go. Um, Competition time, baby. And I haven't been playing the DS games, but if there ever is a Pokemon game good enough, I'd go and buy a Nintendo system just for that, just so I could play the Pokemon game. So that's what I find incredible about letting it fall this far, right? Like, why let it fall this far, right? I find that incredible. And the last thing I want to leave you with, because this is supposed to be like a psychology video or whatever I claimed it was. This has nothing to do with psychology, but I just want to say, guys, take a moment as a gamer once a day to just realize, like, family, friends are super important, and your health is super important. I neglect my health all the time, and I don't reach out to my friends, and it drives me crazy because I'll be thinking about, oh, why don't I reach out to them? Because I'm gaming all day, and then all of a sudden a week goes by, and a month goes by, and now it's next year, and you forgot about the person, and, I would just try to balance everything. By the way, guys, that's my last little random thing. And that's someone who games 5 hours, 6 hours a day, for the last 20 years. But I'm just saying that as a little gentle nudge, because we all need a little gentle nudge. And I've lost my way so many times. So if any single person out there is listening to this right now and benefits from that, that's great. But I will be sort of trying to talk about actually like more like actual psychological things about being a gamer and playing these games, or maybe just the impressions that these other games leave, and of course the influence that these games have on the industry is something that I want to talk about. That's not necessarily connected, but it'll probably be like the same video format type thing. So kind of an interesting one, but thanks for checking out all these amazing bugs and glitches. Don't forget to support Beta Brawler, who made this video. Absolutely amazing. If you're interested in any of these bugs and glitches videos, he does a lot. He also had some Smash Brothers content on his channel, I believe I saw. So much love, you guys. Hugely appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.